Howdy SMITE fans, it's J-Mac here. Look, we had to take a week off from the SPL because we had the SMITE Circuit playoffs take place this last weekend. 8 teams, 2 regions, but only 4 of them can make it to the SWC placement rounds taking place in mid-December. So, let's go ahead and take a dive into the European region and see what all happened in this week's special edition of the SMITE Circuit Recap. Well, everything all started off on Thursday. None of the teams are getting eliminated, but it does set the stage for the remainder of our weekend. And our first set was the number 1 seed Elysium up against the 4th seed and the SOC qualifier up in here in the Kazakhs fan club. While the SOC pickup team was able to make a strong statement with a Game 1 win over Elysium, the veteranship of Elysium rallies together in Games 2 and 3, and they put the fan club in their place, with Elysium taking the set 2-1. Set number 2 featured our 2nd seeded team of Team Joystick battling it out against the 3rd seed Goodnight Nick. And even with a sub-solo laner, that is not enough to slow down Joystick. Goodnight Nick are able to put up a valiant battle in Game 2, but the tenacity of Joystick is able to pull through in a 1st and 3rd game win to take the set 2-1. Set number 1 on Friday was the elimination set between Goodnight Nick and Kazakhs fan club. Game number 1 was a molasses-like pace. Fan club stuck to the farm game, and at 12 minutes, Rapio was finally able to take first blood. This lead continued to spiral out of control, and the Kazakhs fan club are able to close out game number 1 with a deicide at the Fire Giant. Game number 2, Goodnight Nick focused on shutting out the right side of the map. Bevy Monster isn't given an inch to breathe, and with Deathwalker and Ice leading the charge, Goodnight Nick closed out game number 2. Game number 3, it looked like Rapio didn't want to be a part of, well, any of the action. 15 minutes and literally 0 player damage. Rapio crashes the party on Goodnight Nick, not just once, but twice. And game 3 ends off a quadra kill that should have been a pentakill for Rapio. And Kazakhs fan club squeaked by with a 2-1 victory, sending Goodnight Nick packing. And rounding out the day, this time on the upper bracket, is our 2nd set of the day, with Elysium taking on Team Joystick. In game number 1, Elysium held the early kill lead, but one bad fight in mid nets Joystick 3 kills and a Fire Giant. And Joystick wrestle away game 1 from Elysium. Down a game, well, this is when the Elysium passive kicks in. And in game number 2, they completely shut down their competition. Terram and Spudio beat down Team Joystick, and in a convincing Game 2, they're able to tie up the set. Game number 3 was the adapting show. The Elysium jungler crushed any and all hopes of a response out of Team Joystick, ending with a 7-0 slash line right alongside his 5-0 solo laner to take game number 3 and close the set 2-1. Team Joystick and the Kazakhs fan club square off on day number 3, where one of these 2 teams is going to be going home. In game number 1, Team Joystick has a tight grip on the early game, but the gold leads really mean nothing to these squads. Kazakhs fan club clutch out a fight just outside the Gold Fury pit to even out the game, and the Vaporish Coast puts up a triple kill on the right side of the map to set up for a Kazakhs enhanced Fire Giant. And they're able to close out game number 1 off the back of it. Game number 2, it's, well, a pretty steady pace and a nice little lead for Kazakhs fan club, until a 20-minute mid-tower dive where Rapio does it to him once again. Another quadra kill with the penta stolen away, and then 20 more minutes of back-and-forth fighting ends with an immense 1-2 punch out of Calvin and Bevy Monster at a botched enhanced Fire Giant pull by Team Joystick. The Kazakhs fan club, the SOC squad, moves on to the Grand Finals with a 2-0 win. Grand Finals Sunday rolls in, and it's, as you'd expect, Team Elysium and the not-so-expected Kazakhs fan club facing off. A Team Elysium, because they're on the winner's side of the bracket, they do have a 1-game advantage moving in the set. Game number 2, Elysium's early plan was to just shut out Bevy Monster. But their mid-game plan was to dominate the objectives. And they did just that. Every single team fight around a major neutral objective went Elysium's way, and with a deicide at the Fire Giant, Elysium closed out game number 1. Game 2, Elysium, they got a hot start with 5 kills across the board. But Kazakhs fan club did at least maintain an even pace against them, if not for a slightly favorable gold lead until a battle around the Fire Giant shakes the Kazakhs fan club. Elysium storm up the right lane and sweep the game and the series 3-0. And there you have it. Elysium and the Kha'Zix fan club move on to the SWC placement rounds that'll happen in mid-December. And because of that, we won't be seeing any more SCC or SOC until that time. But that doesn't mean we're shy of any esports action. We got the SPL group stages kicking off on Friday at 11 a.m. EST, and make sure that you tune into that. But if you ever do miss out on any of the esports action, I'll always have you covered on our weekly recaps.